Hi there. I'd like to welcome you to the Soulmate Revolution. My name is Alan Knight, former Zen monk turned communication coach. And over the last 25 years, I've been training and coaching people primarily in the entrepreneurial world how to master their relationships and their communication from the inside out. But my true passion, ever since I was really a teenager, was always about personal relationships, dating, and most specifically, soulmates. And finally, we have launched the Soulmate Revolution. So during this next 30, 40 minutes, you're going to get a chance to see what the Soulmate Revolution is all about, a little bit more about the 9-step program that I've developed. And at the end, we'll see if there's a fit between you and I to coach together to take you to the next level, to attract your soulmate a lot quicker than you think. So without further ado, let us connect with the PowerPoint. Enough of me. And here we go. Soulmate Revolution. It is truly time to connect. Now, as I said, I'm a former Zen monk. I've taught people to transform their fears and insecurities into inner freedom, self-confidence, and self-mastery for over 25 years. And I've been helping people to communicate with clarity and impact, including how to find their soulmate partner. So let me ask you a question right off the bat. Does this sound like you? Are you at this point fed up with being alone or attracting unhealthy relationships into your life? If you are, this could be the right place for you. Have fear and insecurity and shyness held you back like so many of us? Has lack of confidence kept you from achieving your relationship goals? Can you relate to any of these? I have a feeling some of you can. Has social anxiety limited your opportunities? I'm always amazed how many people suffer from social anxiety. And are you terrified of speaking in front of a group, which is one aspect of communication? So if any or all of these are you, this could be the right fit for you. So let's go to the other side now. What are you truly looking for? Well, if you're looking for your true soulmate, you're probably looking for someone who becomes your best friend and lover, someone where you have a deep emotional and physical intimacy with, someone to have fun with, enjoy stimulating conversations with, and have a deep spiritual connection unlike any other. If we've been immersed with codependent and dysfunctional relationships, there's something usually inside of us that is longing to have something more profound and something deeper. So are you ready to magnetize your soulmate? Who are we? At the Soulmate Revolution, we are people who are 100% committed to attracting deep, authentic, and heart-centered relationships in every area of our lives. Although our focus is on soulmates, romantic partners, the reality is that when you work on yourself and you elevate your inner game, you're going to attract many different types of soulmates, including business soulmates and friend soulmates, etc. So it's an extra benefit from working on yourself, which we'll talk about more a little later on in the webinar. We basically come together to first and foremost transform ourselves from the inside out. I've learned over the years in my personal experience as a coach that it all starts from the inside, and the quality of relationship we have with ourselves oozes out and enables us to attract other people, high quality people, including our soulmates. We want to improve our effectiveness of our communication. So even if we elevate our inner game, we still want to improve the effectiveness of our communication skills. And as leaders and soulmates generally are big thinking people that have compassion and want to make a difference in the world. So the third aspect is to impact the world around us. As I said before, there are many types of soulmate, but our focus is here, is attracting your true partner, romantic soulmate. Now, why is this important? We live in, as you know, a stressed out, chaotic world. There are unprecedented levels of anxiety and stress. And we're around the corner, we're going to be inundated with artificial intelligence, and who knows what that means. But the one thing that has been clear is that the more technology takes over, the less connected we are to other people and to ourselves. So it is very crucial, and that's why I call it the Soulmate Revolution. It's time for us to take charge and really attract great relationships that will lead to great communities. But again, it starts with the relationship we have with ourselves. What is our intention? The Soulmate Revolution will facilitate 100,000 soulmates coming together in the next 5 years. I know that's very brave and bold, but that's our commitment. Now, just imagine what that would be like if 100,000 soulmates come together through our training, through our network, wow, that could truly impact the world, have a ripple effect. How are we going to do it? First and foremost, as we're going to talk about today, is we're going to take people through a one-to-one personal coaching program. And the goal there is to attract your soulmate. And as we develop more and more people through the program, we will then have a growing network. And we will, in phase 2, launch the Soulmate Network so that like-minded people will be able to meet other men and women that have gone through the program. Some people say, Alan, is this going to be a unique dating site? Well, maybe it sort of will be. I don't know. But it certainly will be unique because most dating sites you go to, you don't really know who you're meeting. But here, you'll meet men and women who have already done the foundational work on developing their inner soulmate. So that's really exciting for us to look at. The soulmate crisis. Most people are not in soulmate quality relationships because most of us are too busy working out the dysfunctional relationships from the past. That's why it's so important to work these things out. You know, one of my friends said, it seems like a lot of us that say we're looking for love are looking for mommy and daddy in a young body, because most of us are looking for love as opposed to loving ourselves deeply from inside out and then sharing that love with each other. So if people want to attract their soulmate, again, it always comes back to the core of working on the relationship you have with yourself. Now, even when soulmates do come together, I'm sure some of you who know have read about soulmates. Some of them could run, one could chase, one could run out of fear or struggle as they mirror each other's fears and insecurities, because soulmates are not just coming together to do scuba diving and dancing. That's great, and we have a lot of fun together for sure, but it's more than that. It's a deeper relationship which mirrors each other and sometimes could be frightening if we're not ready to grow internally. So these are something to keep in mind, that the challenge is to really raise the bar to a new quality of relationship. So what's holding up the works? Well, I believe it is you and it is me, because I believe all of the relationships we have with other people are first and foremost founded on the quality of the relationship we have with ourselves. If we are oozing consistently with joy, inner peace, tranquility, wisdom, etc., and our goal is to share that with the world as opposed to try to get something or control some other people or somebody, then we're going to have much higher quality relationships. So it's probably the you that's holding us back. Question: do you suffer from such things as hyperactive thinking, self-destructive beliefs, and negative self-talk? I have a feeling I'm hearing some yeses out there, or maybe a lot. Do you suffer from depression, anxiety, fear, worry, introversion, or social anxiety? I'm amazed as a coach and in my own personal life to see how many people suffer from these. And of course, all of these hold people back from attracting the kind of relationship they want. Do you procrastinate, or do you want to wait before you put up your hand? Whenever I do that in a seminar setting, I get about 3/4 of people put up their hand. Lack direction, or frustrated with not living your desired lifestyles. So again, if this is you, this is the right place. And I can tell you right now that I could totally relate to you. I'm not some preacher teacher looking down at all of you. I could relate to your fears and insecurities because I spent many, many years in my own. When I was brought up back in Montreal, here in Canada, my brother was 4.5 years older than me. Mr. Everything, was first in his medical class, was popular, king of the high school. He was really, really good looking and a great athlete. And I was a good athlete, but I was very insecure about a lot of things. I had a terrible body image. I was insecure around girls, even though they seemed to like me. And so this was a struggle that I had for many, many years, until I had a life-changing near-death experience on the desert one day that opened my mind and caused me to want to grow spiritually and personally. So in fact, at one point, I met some people that really impressed me with their mental clarity, wisdom, and heart that they had, compassion, etc. So I ended up living as a Zen monk for 9 years of my life. And I learned how to access that Zen zone, that calm, clear mind of stillness and tranquility. So I discovered that part of me that I was really looking for and had a void, which is, call it a spiritual void, call it whatever you want. And I learned to develop a lot of wisdom, inner peace, and more compassion. The deeper I went, the more compassion I had toward other people. So that was a great experience, but I missed girls too much. So I left the monastery, came back into society, and for a while got some sales jobs to keep me alive. And then I went back to university at McGill to get a master's degree in education and counseling psychology. My thesis was the quality of relationships we have with others is founded on the relationship we have with ourselves. I guess that surprises you that that was my thing, because that's my core belief and that's how I live my life. And after years of personal development, after years of sales experience, after years of doing life coaching, reading self-development books, attending seminars, I realized it was time to put knowledge into action. I started to see a void in the self-help industry, that I was meeting people who spent 5, 10, 15, 25,000 on self-help and still were procrastinating, still were lacking in confidence and motivation, etc. And I realized part of it is because we attend a lot of rah-rah seminars and read a lot of books, but we weren't really dealing with self-help like we would physical fitness, where we get in the gym and work out 2, 3, 4 times a week. So I realized it was time to take an inner fitness approach to self-development. And I realized also that knowledge is not so much power. When it comes to interpersonal skills, the power is in the heart. Knowledge is power if we want to become doctors or scientists. But when it comes to interpersonal skills, the power of the heart, presence of mind, patience, wisdom, intuition, etc., are the keys to success. And also, I realized that I wanted to take an inner gymnasium approach to my training program that I was ultimately going to develop, so that there would be true success from the inside out in a very practical way, and so that people can experience true transformation. That led me to write a book called A Knight Without Armor. As you can see, former Zen monk shares his wisdom and simple 9-step formula for winning at business and life. And that led me to the development and ongoing practice and teaching and personal coaching of the 9-step program. So I want to welcome you to a fresh, unique, and practical approach. It helps you to fast track your ability to communicate with high degree of confidence and impact. And finally, we have a simple yet complete system that takes all of your learning into action and result. So in order for me to explain this concept of the 9 steps that's going to help you to attract your soulmate more quickly, just a little bit of a map here. We start with the Zen zone, and I think all of you know what I mean. When we talk about the Zen zone, that's that, call it what you want, source, spirit, center. I call it the Zen zone, where everything is calm, clear. It's like the blue sky above the clouds that are always there. A lot of us don't access that because our emotional, psychological world is too preoccupied. But most of us know what that means. So the more we access that Zen zone, and the more we allow the Zen zone to lead the life, the spirit to lead our life, the better we're going to be, as opposed to the dysfunctional emotions and psychology leading our life. So the Zen zone, we don't live in it. When I lived as a monk for 9 years, when I left after 9 years, I was feeling great. But when I went back into the world, I had a lot of struggles and obstacles because I wasn't just an isolated person living in the Zen zone. I had emotions, I had a rational mind, and I had a physical body. So the emotions play a role if they're our servant, not our master. The problem in the North American culture and throughout the world is we often allow the emotions and or the mind and or the body, or all three, to run the show instead of the higher self. And when the higher self runs the show, the emotions and the mind and body become servants, and they're better servants than they are masters. Now, on an emotional level, if we are living with true inner peace and joy and compassion, etc., and love, we're going to generate a lot of great enthusiasm out into the world. If our mind is stimulated and confident and intelligent and calm, we're going to project a lot of intelligence and wonderful creativity into the world. If our bodies are taking good, right, balanced physical action, we're going to project well into the world. The problem is that a lot of times we allow the emotions to get out of control in the form of fear, anxiety, worry, stress, insecurity, jealousy, etc., and then we are in trouble. The rational mind could either become too hyperactive. Anybody think too much out there? I have a feeling some of you do. Or negative thinking could bring us down. And physically, we can either go to one extreme of become compulsive and obsessive, or the other extreme of procrastinating. So when we put the Zen zone first, and we get into the zone, and we master our emotions and master our mind and master our physical actions, we do well. Then there's the whole area of communication, and that word soulmates could be replaced by communication as well, is we have to communicate with people. So if those four cylinders are in good shape, we're in a lot better opportunity. We have a lot better opportunity to not only attract the right kind of like-minded people, but to communicate, and that requires some communication skills, which is part of the 9-step program. And all of this leads to our desired lifestyle. But many of us are not living our desired dreams because of the dysfunction down below. So having said that, that is why I created the Soulmate Power Program, which is the 9-step program that I referred to you earlier. So the 9 steps to attract your soulmate, it fast tracks your personal development, it empowers your relationship building skills, and you're able to magnetize your soulmate. Are you ready to learn the 9 steps? Well, here we go. Step number 1, take stock of your life, the courage to look in the mirror, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and accept the reality of who you are. So when we get more in detail, of course, when we do the program, but we rate ourselves 0 to 100% on a lot of personal levels, a lot of relational levels. You get a chance to see what the lowest 5 or 6 are, and then you see clearly that most of those 5 or 6 are usually going to come from the inside out. Even if some of your lowest numbers are in the area of communication, most of the time it's rooted on the personal side, which you're going to see in a minute. So but taking stock of your life is the first step of the 9 steps. The second step we call zap the past. Most of us have negativity from our past, mother, father, or whatever issues we have. So we have a zap the past list of exercises that helps release resentment, anger, and grudges and neutralizes them. You learn how to stop being so self-critical and hard on yourself. And you start to learn to focus on a commitment to accepting and respecting and loving yourself. You know, a lot of people ask me, what is the number one thing holding most people back in all the coaching I've done over the years? And I would say the number one, there are many, but the number one is most people are way too self-critical and hard on themselves. And so zap the past stage is extremely important so that we not run away from the past, we embrace it, channel it, and release it. Now we're ready for step number 3, which is designing your ideal life. Now we're ready to put the concrete down as a solid foundation to the superstructure we're going to develop. So through the impact visioning process, we help you to clarify your vision and direction, solidify your purpose and intention, and explore who you are at the deepest level. Now, not only do we help you through the impact visioning process, we can also help you if you're not sure what your passion is work-wise. We have a creative brainstorming exercise for that. And we also have an inner warrioress spirit exercise so that you have an intentionality about achieving your vision that says nobody, nothing is going to get you off track from achieving your dream lifestyle. So with a solid foundation, we're able to move into 4, 5, and 6, which is where the heavy lifting is. Step number 4, we call unleashing your inner warrior. That's the inner fitness level, because personal power is going to come first from inner power. So we help to subdue any hyperactive thinking you might have. We help you to master your turbulent emotions and achieve more self-mastery and inner freedom from the inside, getting into the Zen zone. So we have a whole variety of inner fitness exercises we teach you to get strongly into inner muscle building and inner fitness. Then number 5 is about outer fitness, taking charge of your life, building the lifestyle that you really want, busting the habit of procrastination. Give you access to a personal accountability system, a tracking system with a goal, a quota, actual running total. And then we also have a success partner system and a priority system to help manage your time. So with all of this in a short period of time, you start to take effective action on the outside. So number 4 is building your inner power. Number 5 is building your outer power. 4 and 5, 4 and 5, and 4 and 5, build your personal power. Then we move on to step number 6, which is what we call busting through the barriers. You and I both know that we are going to have obstacles and challenges in our lives. Some are small, some are medium, some are large. You go outside, it wasn't raining, starts to rain, that's a small one. Someone steals a couple $1,000s from you, it's medium. Someone has cancer, 4-stage cancer, that's quite extreme. Whatever barriers you're going to come, we call them triggers, we're going to get tested in life. The question is, do we become a victim of them, or do we master them, pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and get back in the superhighway of life, get back in the zone? So through this step, we help you to master the Scud missile. I call them the Scud missiles of life. We achieve a deep level of inner calmness within the chaotic world, and you help to really conquer your inner game. And when you get into this state, that's where the fun begins, because we move on to step 7, where it's the true power to manifest, to attract and magnetize. In this stage, you're enjoying a state of grace, harmony, and synchronicity. A lot of times people would experience synchronicity once in a blue moon. How about if you experience it almost all the time? And you do this by surrendering control and manipulation, and tap into your higher self in a way that you never have before. And as you go through these subtle levels where I could teach you higher levels of motivational techniques, you begin to feel so amazing and magical in your own skin, and you're able to attract at a very high level. So step number 1 to 7 is all about empowering yourself, accepting, adoring, respecting yourself like your own little child. And that leads us to step number 8, where we're now able to really master. We're communicating all along the way, but now we're able, with the stillness and the confidence, to really focus on our relationships and communication so that we can very easily connect with anyone, anytime. Could you imagine being at that level, the quality of relationships you're going to connect with? It's just amazing. You learn to express yourself with confidence and boldness. Master your conversational skills at a high level. Strengthen your self-confidence, as we said, and communicate with much greater clarity and impact. That's when life really gets fun. And then step number 1, we call it the Soulmate Mastermind, because once you work on yourself and you work on your communication with others, there's a growing compassion that oozes out of you, and you want to make a difference in the world. That's where the leadership comes in. So we help you to create your soulmate circles, leave your soulmate legacy, and we have ongoing support and follow-up through the network. Those, in a nutshell, my friend, are the 9 steps: Zen zone, emotions, mind, body, soulmate, leading to your soulmate, and ultimately your dream lifestyle. So my 3 questions for you are: number 1, is there any room for more self-development once you look within and check how you're doing, your strengths and weaknesses? And for most people, there's plenty of room for improvement. Are you tired and fed up with mediocrity? Some of us know that we have room for growth, but we're not fed up enough. We haven't got to that point where we say, enough is enough. Life is short. I want to live more fully. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. And the next question is, can you do it alone, or can you see how our 9-step program can help you to fast track and ensure your long-term success? If not, then what do? Do you give up? Do you stagnate, get depressed, beat yourself up, blame others? So my question again is, if you are very serious about letting go of your self-limiting barriers, transforming your fears into self-confidence, releasing your full potential, mastering your dating and conversational skills, fast track meeting your soulmate, the Soulmate Power Program might be the very right fit for you. So what we encourage, if this really resonated with you, I hope I didn't go too quickly here, but I didn't want to keep you on, because I know a lot of people don't want to spend an hour on a webinar. Kind of went through it fairly quickly. Each slide by itself, we could probably spend a half a day on. So if you are interested in registering for your free coaching call and investing in yourself, that's the link you click on. We could set up a phone call where I do an assessment and help you to identify what things are holding you back and some of the strategies we will work on to get you out of that. So the benefits for you, what are they? You become much more clear on your vision and your purpose. You strengthen your self-confidence. You become much more bold and assertive. You become more calm and clear-minded, and you communicate with much greater clarity and impact. So if this is for you, what I recommend you do is act now and book your assessment right here at this location. And I guess I ask you the last thing: are you ready to raise your inner game and speed up finding the person that you always dreamed of being with? Well, the Soulmate Power program, the intensive one-to-one, is very likely your answer. We'd love to work with you. So I want to thank you for listening in. And for those of you that register, I look forward to chatting with you. Those of you that don't, I hope at the very least you got some things out of this and will follow us on our website and our Facebook page. Take care. We'll talk to you real soon.